It's Tuesday, the 5th of October 2021. Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Headlines, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Morning, Michael.
Okay, 5 stories in 5 minutes. Let's get into it. Number 1, a new report says Australia has tremendous potential to be an affordable supplier of low-carbon hydrogen energy into Asia. What's going on?
The International Energy Agency is very optimistic about Australia playing a major role in the green revolution, not just in the next 10 or 20 years, but the next 50 years. It said there are 9 major clean hydrogen projects in Australia underway, and in terms of future capacity, Australia is only just behind the leader, which is Europe. It comes as Andrew Forrest, Australia's second richest man, called for policy settings to allow the development of a large hydrogen industry. Other industry leaders, including Macquarie Bank's Shamara Wickramanayake and senior leaders of Origin Energy and BHP, have pushed for the same thing. The International Energy Agency report says hydrogen is one of the most promising renewables for industries such as factories and transport, the heavy stuff. Now, they reckon they need $1.2 trillion invested in the next decade. That's a lot of money, maybe too much money, but what they're saying is that there is real progress going forward. The trick with hydrogen is to make sure the production is green rather than dirty. Producing hydrogen takes huge amounts of electricity, and for the hydrogen to be green, the electricity needs to come from renewable sources. Wrapping all that up, the International Energy Agency thinks this is a future industry for Australia. It thinks that the government needs to jump in. Very exciting.
Yeah, a lot of potential in that one. On to story number 2, and the COVID situation, Sean, in New South Wales is improving. 623 cases yesterday. I think that's the lowest daily tally since the middle of August, and the 7-day average of cases has fallen to 805. That's good news.
If you want evidence about vaccinations working, look at New South Wales. The state's now got 88% of its people having received a first jab, and 2/3 are fully vaccinated. That 70% mark will hit in the next couple of days. Victoria's vaccination rates aren't quite as high, and unfortunately the case numbers are still very high, 1,377 yesterday, though the first vaccine dose rate passed 82%, so that is promising, while a little over half the population is fully inoculated. The numbers in ACT were again high yesterday, 28 and 2 deaths. There's no real sign of easing restrictions there, and there was just 1 new case in Queensland. They seem to have contained that outbreak pretty well.
Now, Sean, story number 3. I don't know about you, but I don't remember the last time I caught a taxi. Couple of reasons for that. Competitors like Uber, of course, also lockdowns, not really going anywhere. You would think the taxi industry would be on its knees. What's the latest?
You'd think so, but Andrew Skelton, the boss of A2B, which owns the 13 cabs network, that's more than 7,000 vehicles, is very upbeat. He said there are 2 key reasons. One is that they're pushing hard into technology in payments processing. It owns something called Flamingo Pay, which 13 Cabs claims is a highly cost-effective payments platform for SMEs, not just cabs, all SMEs. The second is electric vehicles. About 3/4 of taxis that are either electric or hybrids, much higher rate than competitors. Mr. Skelton's also confident that demand will surge when things open up again. I hope so, for their sake.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, story number 4 is one of my favourite subjects, also one that's got me a little bit worried. Brazil, one of the biggest producers in the world of sugar, soybeans, rice, wheat. But no surprise, it's also the world's biggest producer of coffee, accounts for about half of the world's supply. However, poor weather has decimated crops, and we all might be feeling it soon. How worried should we be, Sean?
Very worried. That $3.50 regular flat white is going to head to $4, I reckon. Coffee prices have gone through the roof, up more than 20% this year, according to Ibis World. Now, mostly it's because of drought and severe frost in Brazil. As you mentioned, 20% of that crop has been wiped out. On top of that, roasters are paying higher transportation fees to import the beans, and demand remains really high. Australia, for example, is up 7% last year demand. That all adds up to more expensive cups of coffee.
Yeah, terrible news. All right, let's bring it home now. Story number 5 with a bit of scandal. There's been a massive leak of financial records known as the Pandora Papers. Tell me about this.
We will be talking about this for years, I would suggest. Basically, the Pandora Papers have revealed the offshore financial assets of dozens of current and former world leaders. The International Consortium of Investigative Journalists have unveiled financial information about all sorts of people. The one-time UK Prime Minister Tony Blair, Queen Elizabeth II, the King of Jordan, the Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan. It is a big story.
Extraordinary story. Thank you very much, Sean. That's the top 5 business stories in 5 minutes.
Have a great day, Michael.
It's Tuesday, the 5th of October, 2021. Remember to hit follow on the podcast, and if 5 minutes isn't enough, then find our longer podcast called Fear and Greed on your podcast platform. You can always find more information at fearandgreed.com.au and sign up for our free daily newsletter. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fear and Greed Business Headlines. Have a great day.